All right. Welcome to another episode of the Gym Business Coach Podcast. I'm your host today, Randy Ingston, joined with Zach Columbia.
There's still that little hesitation.
I know. There's going to be, man.
Wait a second. That's not it.
We're probably 40 episodes in, and we're still getting the new title.
Brian, how many episodes have we done of Gym Business Coach podcast? Oh, man.
As long as Brian's been in the seat.
Whatever. It was 700 episodes of Built to Grow. So now, yeah.
We're still getting used to the new one, but we've got a fun one today. We're going to dive into free. It's used wildly in this industry. It's been around forever. Gyms, for some reason, feel like they have to give away their services. But we're going to get into how that not only does it affect the business, I guess it is affecting your business, whether you realize it or not. But today I think we're going to take it from the lens of what is it doing to your team and the culture and staff structure, so forth. So why don't you kind of lay the foundation for us?
Yeah, it's something that I don't think I've ever heard anybody really talk about when we're debating whether or not free is the way that we should attract people into our business and get them through the front door in hopes that they'll then convert to a paying member, right?
Sure.
And so there's this psychological kind of subconscious trickle-down effect that I think impacts the whole team when you are essentially giving away your services. And when you think about it, devaluing what it is that you do. And so just if we kind of look at this, objectively, we step back and we look at it big picture, kind of, from outside the four walls of your facility. If you're saying, hey, we're, giving away a free week or free trial, even a free workout, that is communicating to your team that, hey, what we do doesn't have as much value. It's not as impactful. It's not as, it doesn't set your gym or your coach's education, their expertise, everything that, their experience, all of that on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
It immediately removes a lot of the perceived authority that you as the business owner and the team has.
Yeah, I mean, we talk all the time, right? You're the experts in the area. And if you're in the scope of fitness, right, for our clientele, and I would agree, right? If we're giving away that service, what is it? What expert's willing to do so in any other industry anywhere? You know what I mean?
Well, you're never going to go to a doctor.
Yeah.
You're never going to go to a doctor and be like, well, this has to be a free appointment and I have this big problem that I need to solve. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get my first treatment for free or, my first appointment for free. And then if I like it, I'll go ahead and, pay for it after the fact. Like a doctor would never, that would never fly.
Sure.
And I would argue that what we do is probably more impactful or equally as impactful as a doctor, right?
Sure.
Like our coaches in our facility, they are delivering health to our clients. In my opinion, maybe I might be biased because,
we're in the seat.
essentially, growing up in this industry, and being in that coach's shoes, your coach is a brilliant person usually.
Sure.
They have a lot of knowledge and they're helping people and potentially saving people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, think about it's easy to look at the reports of how many people visit a doctor and get help, right? We could say, how many people got relief. I don't even want to say cure because how rare is that? But but from the preventative side, right? That's an unknown variable. It's an unknown statistic as to how many people did we keep away from pre-diabetes or heart disease or things like that because they had a gym and they were consistently working with a trainer or things like that. Right?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
We have had a handful of members here who have had heart attacks, like widowmaker heart attacks. And, they went to the hospital and survived. And the doctor, basically told them, hey, the only reason you are alive is because you've been working out and taking care
Yeah,
of
there you go.
yourself. And they come back and tell us that. And I'm like, man, that's the greatest win ever, for us, our team. But I just, when we're talking about, when I'm doing sales training,
Mhm.
with directors, gym owners, I always try to position it as like, hey, think about yourself as a doctor and the person coming in as a patient. Like that's the frame.
Yeah.
We're solving this massive health problem for our customers. Um, that carries a lot of weight. And when you say like, hey, we'll just give this away for free in hopes that you like it and want to stay, right there, that commoditizes, it devalues what it is that you do. Um, and you are essentially passing that message on to your staff of like, hey, what we do is just a commodity and it's really not that important and not that impactful. And I know you're super smart and went to school and learned all these things to help people, but like the only way for us to attract clients is
To
to
give it away.
give stuff away for free. Um, I would assume that for all of our listeners, they want to have the Ritz-Carlton of fitness, right? They
Experience, sure.
they want their experience and everything in their business to feel as though it's like a premium service, like this is superior from our competitors, this is nicer, this is um the best in class, best in industry. Well, your staff is not going to perform and live up to that standard if the message is that like, hey, we're just giving away our services for free.
Yeah.
If somebody's coming in, if you're attracting somebody into your business, you're saying, hey, this is a premium experience. We have the app. How many gyms claim they have the best coaches in the world? We have the best training staff. They're so educated. Well, if you truly believed that, then you wouldn't feel like you had to give away your services for free to get somebody to buy and come in and work with you,
I
to
would
pay
go,
to work
yeah. I
with
mean, I think it's even one step further. It's not even just a have to, it's that you could. Like, I don't think if you believed all of that to the point to where it was true, I don't think you would ever find yourself in a position where you even thought about giving away services for free.
you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not even like a have to. It's like there's absolutely no way I would possibly consider that because of the value that we bring to the table. And so I think there is a misalignment between the value that gym owners are bringing to the table and really what they see that and what they share that, how they share that with the marketplace, for sure.
Yeah. And I think that for our, I think this is like, you don't think about the ramifications in all the different ways that free negatively impacts your business.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we could talk about maybe, we'll do another episode where we talk about the client psychology of
Sure.
this and, the like all of those things, maybe attracting the wrong client and all that. But I don't think anybody thinks about the messaging that it communicates to the team. And I think that if you look at it through this lens, you can really go, oh man, like is the standard that I am setting for my team this standard of we are the best, we deserve to be compensated for that. And when we go out there on the training floor and we're taking care of our clients, we're delivering that 5-star, Ritz-Carlton type of like service, and it is best in class. Or is it, hey, we're free, we're free. What we do is just kind of, we give it away just to see if we can get people to stay. And then that lowers the standard and the staff is going like, well, what we do kind of matters, but not all that much.
I
And,
could I
you
could
know,
even see it on a
they live
training
up to
floor
that.
if they have multiple clients, you know what I mean? Like who gets their time and attention? Like, oh, Mrs. Johnson's been over here paying us good money for years, and then this person's over here in their first week not paying us a dime. Like, well, when that person's need Mrs. Johnson and this person need some support, like I'm going to spend my time with Mrs. Johnson and leave this person. Like I assume that there has to be some of that psychology running through there, even if it's not conscious.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean? Like
Because
subconsciously, they don't value the client that's standing in front of them as yet.
the reality is, Randy, that's a great point, because the reality is, if you were going to do a consultation, let's say you're doing consultation with new members, one member pulls up in a Honda Civic, and then another prospect pulls up in a Bentley. I'm guessing that you're probably going to be a little bit more dialed in
Sure.
for that Bentley client than you are or prospect than that Honda Civic. Because in your mind, you're going, man, like this person is going to buy all the services.
Yeah.
They can afford them.
Yeah.
And so I got to be on.
Mm-hmm.
With this person, it's like, okay, like I'm going to go through this process, but I don't really know how big of an investment that this is. Like,
They're willing to make, yeah.
They're willing to make. Right? And you're judging, like, for whatever it's worth, that's how the world works, right? So,
yeah.
So
right, wrong, and different. It
right,
just
wrong,
is.
yeah. So if every single person that is coming into your gym is paying a premium, not getting it for free, and your staff knows that, and that's the standard, and that's part of your core values and how you hold your team and the culture you have, then that is what's going to get delivered consistently. And here's a little experiment. I would say, get with your team, get a meeting together with your team and talk them up. Get everybody together and just say, like, hey guys, I just want you to know how important your job is and how smart you guys are and how great of a service that you deliver and experience you deliver for our clients, and instill that into them.
Yeah.
And then do it in the morning and then watch their performance that day. I guarantee you that every single person from that meeting is they're going to deliver a little bit better. Their energy is just going to be a little bit higher. Their interaction with the clients is just going to be a little bit more intentional. Like their performance is going to increase because you just told them how important their role is and their job is. Okay. So I guess the point of the message is there's a psychological impact, not just on the client, but on the team when you devalue your service and say, hey, we'll give it away for free.
Yeah, I think that's kind of obviously that's the premise of this episode. It's one of those things, like you said, it's kind of an area that's gray. You don't think about that when you're creating an offer, when you're putting something out there. We constantly talk about, how does it benefit the team? How does it benefit the client and the business as well, and the owner as well. And almost every area of business you have to look through it through all three lenses. And this is a really good point, because I don't think that the majority of gym owners have ever thought about the impact the offer has on the team's, morale.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the owner. So
yeah, there you go.
Whether you think it's just a way of doing business or not, that's having a psychological impact on you as the owner as well.
Sure.
Right. Whether you want to admit it or not, there's a lot of gym owners that are just completely like burnt out, and they start to get jaded and almost despise the industry and their job and resent it. Right. And I would say, like, when you feel as though you have to give your services away for free in order to sell, then that's going to have a negative impact on you.
Sure.
Psychological impact on you as an owner, not just your team.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's a lot to unpack. Obviously, Zach's giving you a challenge. I'd say, take that to your team, go see how it impacts them. That's almost the opposite of giving it away for free, right? You're instilling that value in the team, building that morale. It reminds me of one of those great sales coaches, is Zig Ziglar or Jim Rohn. He used to say, one of them used to say, people will work for a paycheck, but they'll die for recognition. And like that's a great way of doing it, right? Just build up that team, see the positive impact that has on your business for the day, and then you can associate that with kind of the inverse of that, right? If you're giving away your services, what is that impact that it's leaving on your team, and then yourself as well. And yeah, maybe we'll do a follow-up episode in the next episode where we'll talk about like the client impact, how it impacts the business from the client's seat and their psychology when you're giving away your services.
Yeah.
But anything else to add for today?
No, I think they get the message.
Yeah, there we go.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for this episode. Until next episode, keep changing lives. We'll see you in the next show.